Have you ever wished to be part of the M.U.G.E.N community? Well, please join the newly revamped The Nexus server. It's a place to chat, interact with many M.U.G.E.N creators, post and view creations, and play games with our very own Krypt and earn free MK Steam keys. Invite link is down below. Okay guys, so I've gotten this question many times on stream, but I've given my answers on stream before, but I feel like I want to do like a proper thoughts and proper video on this topic here. My thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1 2023, the game. Now on stream, I've said my opinion, and I feel like in this video it's going to be slightly different, but still the same basis. In my opinion, MK1 plays the best, has the best fighting game mechanics, fighting game gameplay of all the Universe era, in my opinion. Better than MK11, better than MKX, and I feel like a hot take here, better than MK9, honestly. MK1 just plays greatly, and I'll get to that very soon as to why. But overall, like I said, I love the gameplay, I love the gameplay mechanics. The game itself though, feels a bit lacking, and again, I'll get to that very soon. So, the fighting game mechanics. The game, I guess, again, I'm not really a competitive player, I'm not really that, good at fighting games in general, I guess, but I love, this game. I love fighting games. I have, years and years of experience, and I know what makes a fun fighting game. And this one is fun, and I can pretty much dub that down to the new mechanics that were introduced to MK1. Camera characters are probably the best addition to MK1 here, in terms of gameplay, that is. Cameos, I'll get to why after, but I guess from a gameplay standpoint, camera characters are easy to pick up, easy to use, but yet are deep enough for pro players to really get involved and really dive into. And I feel like that really works. They're really what makes this thing really cool, very fun. Casuals can play, pros can play, and everyone loves it. I also love how camera characters really do feel like more than just not even just tag partners, but like they feel like you're part of your move lists. They show up in fatal blows, they have their finishes and all that stuff. They feel very fleshed out, and I love that. As well as the addition of air combos as well. That really adds to the whole fluidity of the fighting game mechanics here, the gameplay. Combos just on the ground, and you can continue them in the air as well. They're basic as well. They're simple, like gameplay wise and button wise. So again, casuals like me can really pick up and use them. Love air combos here. I also love the fact that the meter system is also back to just one bar. That is good, MK11, I initially did like the whole attack and defensive meter system, but then over time I started to realize that I really only used the attack meter and I really used the defensive one. That could have been my fault, but either way, with this return of the whole one meter system, I'm not back to using breakers and stuff and EX and all that stuff, and it's good to see that. Also, I feel like the small additions such as flawless blocks and all that stuff, and all the small stuff added here really do make the game feel just a lot more better, a lot more deep. The game is faster, it's more depth, but easier for me to play, and I love that. MK11 just plays like a gem. It's so good. So yeah, props and my thoughts on that. Getting on to the actual game itself though. So game modes. Invasions mode. This is where I mostly took. This is where I mostly played in. Story mode I haven't really dived into just yet. Although I do have some knowledge on what goes on in that at least. But Invasions mode, it's a really okay. So compared to other MK features that were added in the NRS era, we've got Tiles of Time, Living Tiles, all that stuff. Invasions mode is the best new feature that's been added in MK in this era. It's great. It's very simple. When you like kind of dial it down and go back a little bit, all it really is just a character moving in a grid, and each grid is just a regular fight. So when you dial it down like that, it does feel kind of stupid, right? It does. But honestly, it's just because the gameplay is so fun that makes Invasions mode really fun. But then again, I have to be critical on this, and I feel like Invasions mode isn't as replayable as I guess the devs think. It gets repetitive very fast, and I did compare it to other game modes in the franchise. Mainly Conquest mode, and Conquest mode definitely runs rings around this mode, Invaders mode. Invaders mode doesn't have much variation in its gameplay. Again, I did mention how I really love the gameplay mechanics and gameplay system, which makes me love Invaders mode. But you know, over time, you know, after playing, you know, this mode after a week or so, you know, it gets very boring very easily. I feel like test your might in survival isn't enough of variation for it to be fun over time. So yeah, I definitely noticed how when I got to the later parts of the game, of this game mode, it got repetitive very quickly. But yeah, I can at the very least praise the fact that it's better than all the features that were added before in previous NRS games. But then when you compare it to, you know, Tekken 8 and what Street Fighter 6 has, you know, with their adventure mode, world tour mode, and all that stuff, this, yeah, it's lacking, definitely lacking. Online, standard. I'm not really a big online guy, so I can't really do, you know, really good comparisons. But the netcode is good. It's probably the best in my opinion when it comes to all the fighting games. M.U.G.E.N has been known for that stuff, you know. Online, it's been fleshed out always. It's got the standard stuff, you know, the combat league, the casual, the ranked, and the, you know, the King of the Hills. So yeah, it's standard. But for me personally, I don't play online. So after completing Invasions mode, I couldn't actually. I felt empty, you know. There was nothing much to do. Story mode, again, haven't played that still, but after finishing that, I believe it's 4 or 5 hours. What is there to do other than online, you know, other than wait for the next season for Invasions mode? So yeah, the game does feel empty in that regard. I feel like M.U.G.E.N would have done wonders if I had an extra game mode. For example, you know, bring back chess combat, puzzle combat, Mortal Kombat, anything like that would have been really nice. But yeah, what we have so far unfortunately feels a bit empty after me finishing, you know, Invaders mode. So yeah, that's my thoughts on just like the game as a whole. But onto the smaller stuff, you know, the roster, I think it's great, really good. M.U.G.E.N, I dogged on the roster simply because in the context of M.U.G.E.N story, the roster was lackluster, you know what I mean? They kind of played safe. There was nothing, there was no like, you know, surprise characters or like cool returns. It was characters that we kind of expected to see, you know, despite the whole M.U.G.E.N you know, timeline story. It was boring. In this context, in this game, the roster is great. It makes sense. That's all that matters really. It makes sense, and I feel like there isn't much of an outrage as it was before. Definitely, I do feel like there could have been, you know, 1 or 2 more characters. I feel like a Jade would have been nice here, but I think more importantly, it's the fact that I noticed that there is no new characters in M.U.G.E.N. They are all legacy characters, and I feel like that is a really bold move, honestly. Fighting game developers really like, you know, they believe, in my opinion, they believe that characters is content. So, you know, just seeing that NRS take a bold move, a risky move, and just include all legacy characters, that's crazy. But in my opinion, it's a move that I like. I feel like these characters all fit. I love seeing, you know, Ashura back, Nitara back, Havoc back, and then, you know, all those characters. So I feel like having a new character wasn't missed at all. From what I know, from what I've seen, these characters feel fleshed out, and that's great. That's all that matters really. As well as, you know, cameos. Cameos, again, probably the best addition here. Like I said, the best addition to this game. It's they feel like they make the roster feel bigger, if that makes sense. Yes, they are side characters and they're not really the main characters, but it does feel like these characters, you know, make the roster feel bigger. That's all I can really say about it, really. It's again, cameos are great, and I'd love to see, you know, more characters be added to this cameo system. Obviously, that's where we confirmed already with KP Pack 1. Sorry, KP Pack? KP1. Yeah, so yeah, love it. Next up, other small features. I really didn't like the fact that the Krypt was pretty much removed entirely. The Krypt has been a staple of MK since Deadly Alliance, 2001? 2002-ish? That is insane to see a staple game mode be moved entirely. Now, when you take a look back at it, it kind of makes sense, you know. So MK11 kind of started this, you know, whole randomized Krypt trend, and you know, seeing the outrage on that, you know, I feel like NRS or WB saw that and saw, let's take a safe route and just make it instead of a whole adventure mode with random chests. Let's just make one random thing, one random shrine, and just buy that, right? That makes sense when you put it that way. But again, I feel like Krypt is a staple. It's such a staple, the fact that it should have been at least a simple Krypt. That's like a back in the day, like in the PS2 era, where it should have been like a coffin grid system Krypt rather than just one shrine. I would have taken that, you know, instead of this one shrine thing that we have. But I did notice that people were making a big outcry on this online, and I feel like it's not as big disappointment as people believe it is. Again, because I mentioned, you know, M.U.G.E.N kind of started this randomized Krypt trend, and to see it dialed back to this stream, it makes sense, you know, it makes sense. M.U.G.E.N and M.U.G.E.X Krypt was, in my opinion, too ambitious. I didn't like the whole adventure thing. I feel like if they wanted an adventure mode thing, it should have been an entirely different one, entirely different feature rather than the Krypt. I didn't like the whole adventure thing. So yeah, again, like I said, makes sense the fact that they put it down to just one shrine, but it's still sad to see it, you know, gone. One more big disappointment, in my opinion, is the dial down of customization. In M.U.G.E.N, each character had 3 gear pieces they can change. In this game, it's just one, and with skins, I believe on launch, that is, there was less skins in M.U.G.E.N than M.U.G.E.N. Now, what is nice is that the fact that they at the very least made it so that palettes to your skins weren't unique skins. Palettes are different and skins are different, and that's really good, you know. They treated palettes as their own skin. That is bloat, you know, don't like that. That's really big bloat. But I was hoping to see, you know, I guess an evolution of the whole customization, you know, maybe some more pieces, some more skins, or even the fact maybe a creator fighter, you know what I mean? But instead they dialed it down. Kind of sad to see that. It is obviously, you know, we know for a fact that every single DLC patch that they release, there probably will be, you know, more skins, more gear every season, that is, I guess. But yeah, on release it's kind of disappointment, and it's a shame, really. So hoping to see more of that. And I guess for more smaller things in the game, I do like the whole art design, design of this game. It feels very, I don't know if it's just me, okay, but M.U.G.E.N feels very Asian, like Asian inspired, you know what I mean? And that might be very, you know, coincidence, because Liu Kang is the, you know, the creator of this timeline, so that might make sense. But I love that game's art design, the costumes of each character. I feel like that's a, you know, a topic that people are really mixed about. In my opinion, I do really like the costumes of the characters. They're really good. The only thing I don't like is their faces. The faces aren't as good as M.U.G.E.N. I was one of the few guys, I feel like, to really like the M.U.G.E.N faces. So seeing M.U.G.E.N faces, I personally didn't like it. But yeah, costumes, great. Cameos, designs, cool throwback. Again, really cool to see, you know, these characters in their throwback costumes in this, you know, HD remake of them. But it is kind of weird seeing these camera designs look really like, you know, OG and kind of bland in comparison to the main character designs. If you put them side by side, right, it doesn't really fit well. What I'd love to see is for the camera characters, right, for them to have one skin that's brand new, that's to M.U.G.E.N, and one skin that's classic. That would have been really cool. But yeah, I guess that's fine, right? The music in this game, oh man, I have no opinion on this music at all. It is uninteresting, to say the least. Although, okay, no music that I've heard has been bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just mid, it's just par. So that's alright, you know, I guess that's not too bad. But yeah, I love the characters, love the art design, music is meh. Overall, the game, in my opinion, it's fun, you know, it's fun. Thank God the fighting system is just the best it is. Man, it's so fun playing M.U.G.E.N in general, guys. It's just so great. I wish there was more, but what I've got so far, it's good enough. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on M.U.G.E.N the game. What a confusing name, man. What a fucking confusing name. You know, that's one nitpick I have, right? M.U.G.E.N. It would have been nice if they had like M.U.G.E.N and a tagline with it, you know what I mean? It's confusing, you know. I don't know. That's beside the point, guys. But anyways, yeah. What are guys' thoughts down below, guys? Let me know. Do you like the game? Do you not? Do you agree with me? Do you don't? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. That's my opinion on the game so far. I'm hoping that they add more things, you know, to this game down the line. Obviously, more characters are confirmed already. You know, Omni-Man, Peacemaker, what's his name? Homelander as well as, you know, legacy characters, Ermac and stuff. That's cool. But I'm hoping to see more game modes and more customization to be added to the game. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's my thoughts on MK1. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.